This is episode 12, just one more after this. Man, what a nice, just a good episode. I don't know what to say, I'm just getting so invested in
Alas,
it and
poor
these people.
Urich. I knew him well.
Is it horrible to say I just feel more bad that Gao is leaving?
No, because Gao is amazing.
That was actually, like, on the one hand, it's kind of like... kind of spoilers, but it's kind of like when Ed left in Cowboy Bebop. On the one hand, I'm like, oh no! But on the other hand, I'm like, no, that feels right. That's the way
And
that
now
character should go.
I must return to my home planet.
I just want her to do like the cat returns, like she just does a spin jump and then like a bird catches her and she flies off.
I was waiting for her to just like raise her arms and then just ascend into the sky into a UFO like pew.
No, she did something cooler, like she did like some sort of flip or something. And like, the birds of the world will carry her off. I don't know, but she's so cool.
To China? Someplace considerably further.
Actually, where is she talking?
You know what? Good question. Good question. I don't know for sure. The theory is that she is the Crane Mother, which was from Iron Fist, which I am not that familiar with because I didn't read it. I believe most of this is more fairly recently. But yeah, apparently there's these heavenly cities, and she's from, I don't know, is it Kundun or Kun or...
When you say heavenly cities, you mean like BioShock Infinite, where they're just cities in the clouds, or like
I believe
another ascension of reality?
If you want my honest opinion, knowing what little I know about it, it reminds me a lot of Mortal Kombat. I got this impression that it's like another realm, and there literally is like this kind of Mortal Kombat thing that one guy didn't want to participate in, she got pissed off about it, resurrected some other guy to hunt this guy down, got involved in Hydra and stuff like that's about all I know. And one of the guys she resurrected is Steel Serpent, and what she stamps on the drugs is also his symbol or something, so there's all this talk like, ooh, crossover, and there's gonna be an Iron Fist show, and Iron Fist is the guy that...
Yeah, as soon as Bullseye shows up.
Betrayed her, and I don't know, but the guess is that it's Crane Mother, and honestly it's the only one that makes the most sense to me, because she took Murdoch out with like, she's like, Hwah! Yeah, she was like, fuck you, and like she just like,
he was like, ow!
Yeah,
he went down and it was like, ow!
Lady, ow, ow, ow. So she seems to have like almost a supernatural power. She speaks God knows how many languages. And then, yeah, she says, I must return, and he's like, China? A considerably farther distance. And she's like, it was never about the heroine, and it was, so she's got some other thing. Maybe she's trying to lure Iron Fist at, like, I'm guessing she's the Crane Mother, which if she is the Crane Mother, at least if she transforms into the Crane Mother, it'll be kind of cool, because if you've ever seen images in the comics, like, tall, and it could be cool. I don't know. That is the full extent of my knowledge on that.
I'm gonna miss her.
So, yeah, I'm gonna miss her too. Now that's just a guess, because I don't believe she went by Madame Gao in the comics. I think people are just guessing, well, it's the Crane Mother.
But
either way, I hope she comes back.
The funny thing is, thinking back to this episode, I was like, man, that was really good. Then when I turned the record button on, I was kind of like, wait, what exactly happened? Because I just remember being really good, but then like I remember these moments, but like if you were to say, yeah, what actually happened, like what's the connecting story in this? I remember scenes and moments, but and I do even remember sort of like themes to it too, but like in terms of like one continuous story, I don't think of that one that in this one that much. And maybe that's sort of what I like more about it. It's almost like a shit's going on, but it's also kind of a mellow one too, but it's also a really intense one. You find out a lot, and a lot.
What is it? Gandalf said it's the deep gasp before the plunge.
Yeah,
like it's almost like we're kind of setting up for the final act, and it's it is, because stuff does happen. He takes out the Triad in the heroin trade. The blind people all attack him, and
the reporter gets killed. Gao disappears.
It's
the outfit is still being made.
Oh, and Fisk has a touching goodbye to Wesley in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. I was half right.
I don't know how to love him. Their bromance. And he like sits up next to him and he's like, oh. Like, you feel bad though. Like,
yeah, his girlfriend wakes up from her poison drink, whatever. And
yeah, Vanessa's back.
So I was half right once, half right another time, but not completely right because I should have just guessed both of them, and that was Gao and Patch Adams guy.
Leland!
That poison.
I'm
always going to call him the Patch Adams guy because it's funny.
I have a name!
Yeah, it's Patch Adams guy. So, yeah, no, that's something where it's like, because when you hear him talking, and then it's like, no, I talked to her, yeah, she doesn't know anything. I'm like, well, clearly they would have shown that scene if they really wanted to convince us. So.
Obviously, I had seen this before, so I already knew. But my initial guess was Gao. Because she pretty much spelled it out to him from the beginning. You will have to choose, or fate will choose for you. That was her way of saying, I'm just going to make you do what I want.
But you see what I'm saying? When they weren't showing her, you think it was her, and then they were accusing her, it's like, well, okay, it's either not her or it can't just be her.
To me, I'm just like, well, it's her. That's why they're not showing her.
But see, then I was convinced it was Patch Adams' guy. And
he was in on it, but he's not conniving enough to do it himself.
You know, it's funny.
I just wouldn't have bought that he would have been able to put this whole thing together.
He was the character that annoyed me the most to start off, and that he was meant to be a special complainer, but he has really grown on me, actually, especially in these last few episodes.
Get your hands off me, he called me.
Yeah, everyone's always stopping him and growing.
Yeah, I love how he's always the one that everybody's stopping.
Get away from me!
I'm supposed to be here.
You know, the opening with her going to her apartment and then seeing Fisk there. Well, first I said, this is a dream. This is obviously a dream, but it'd be so cool if it wasn't. And then we get that scene at the end anyway.
That's what I love about that scene. It's a great setup for the ending so that there's almost a part of you like hoping, is this just another dream? Is Urich just drunk? Or did he pass out? Like, no, it's real. And again, it's all about the balance. Fisk loses Wesley. Now they lose Urich.
Yeah.
It always has to even out somehow. There's always, you have to pay for your sins. Speaking of which, seeing it a second time, there is one thing I really noticed, which is, what was it that the Italian mobster said when he left at the beginning? When he was talking to Urich, he says, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge and this and that, and he said, you know what, I've been in prison for a lot of years, and but out of all the newspaper reporters that reported on what I did, you were the only one who didn't bring my kids into it. You left my family out of it, and it wasn't lost on me that at the very end, why does Urich get killed? You brought my mother into it. You know, it's like he broke kind of that one rule, and again, it's a very Catholic concept. There's always this concept of somehow you have to pay for your sins.
Well, there's sort of the Italian mafia thing. It's like, the family. It's like, you don't. There's sort of that unspoken rule about you don't mess with the family. Yeah, even though I'm sure they do.
But I mean, that's the thing. It's like Urich had this sort of, it seemed like this unofficial rule that the other guy was grateful to him for, and it's like he broke the rule once, and look what happened.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that being said, I'm surprised that they did that, because I'm pretty sure he's still alive in the Marvel comic universe.
Well, I was going to say, if they bring Spider-Man into the Marvel universe with the Avengers and stuff like that, clearly he's not going to be in it. Well, I know he was in Spider-Man.
Well, that's all. Yeah, he was in Spider-Man. He was one of those crossover characters. They created a new paper for this. He would be working for the Bugle, Parker's paper, but all I can figure is this was pre-signing that deal with Sony, so they just figured, well, we're never going to really have I don't know, maybe they just figured they were never going to have the rights to it, or they didn't know what to do, but yeah, I was kind of surprised, because I'm like, there's an interesting major character you just killed off.
The two scenes that, actually, even kind of three. Emotional scenes for me. One is the opening when she goes to her home and is showering and stuff like that, and you just feel you feel that weight that she killed a person.
There's a realism
really
too to her actions, because I swear to God, the second she pops open like the bottle of whiskey, and it's just like, like I was just like, that is exactly what I.
But
would
even
have done.
sleeping with like the shades drawn and the light shining through, and it's very dark in there and stuff. I mean, it's like there is this realism that there's a movie called In the Bedroom that tried to capture the same realism, and it's one of those movies I cannot explain why. For me, I mean, it's. I'm sure it'd be good for a lot of other people, but for some reason they're trying to capture this, and it didn't work for me. And they spend so much time on it. They try to do it so well, and they spend a long amount of this movie trying to capture this, and I really appreciate the effort. But it's so funny, within like a few minutes, they captured it in this opening. But that could be we've had a show to know this character as well.
Well, too, I think it just. They captured that retreat from the world. There was almost like she wouldn't want to check her cell phone, close the drapes, drink yourself, take a shower.
That
almost like
was
everything,
really there.
Everything she's doing is almost just like, maybe it didn't happen. Maybe it's all a bad dream. Maybe, just like...
Yeah, taking a shower, like trying to get clean. I mean, there's just, you almost feel that feeling in your stomach when, you watch it. It's like, man, you just
this show always had a good sense of dread. Even going into Urich's death... Before that, because I didn't think they were going to kill Urich off. At the same time, I didn't think they would kill Karen off either, but I was looking at the way that scene was set up with Karen, and I'm just like, are they going to attack her or something? Because she sits there at the desk, and you know that he knows. So there's this sense of dread throughout half the episode, like, what is Fisk going to do? Like, because it's setting this whole thing up, and she shows up at... Urich's place is like, we need to get the story on now. There's this sense of like panic and just do it, and any second we could be killed. And the show really knows how to ratchet up like that kind of terror factor, that dread. Like any second now, somebody behind you is going to take you out because you know too much.
The other two that I thought were really effective. One is when Fisk's girlfriend wakes up. I mean, as crazy and twisted as they are, it's like I really buy their chemistry.
I love those.
I really do. I mean, it's like if I could redo the top 11 strangest romantic couples, like I'd put them on there on the list. And then the other, I really liked seeing Murdoch break down and him say, I can't do this. I can't do this alone. And he really sold it. I really felt like it felt like he was really breaking down and really just, he was starting to crumble, and she was there to help him and stuff, and I thought that was a really legitimately good emotional scene.
Well, again, there was an interesting dichotomy, because what he just came out of was witnessing a bunch of people who had literally blind faith that they were going to get something better, and it's all just kind of a scam. So...
That we know of. Maybe the crane or whatever it's called.
But I think that's the point from his point of view. He's just like, my God, can it get any worse than this? And I think it challenged his faith, and then he's like, I can't do this alone. Like, I've fucking seen rock bottom now. Like, Jesus Christ, how can this get any
And that
worse?
they blinded themselves for
Yeah, and they blinded themselves with that. And for someone who never wanted to be blind himself, it was an accident.
I mean, here's a bunch of people that chose to do it because they so thought
because of
better.
faith, the very thing he's fucking been struggling with from... Yeah. God, I love this show.
It is really, really good. So, and maybe that's why we were talking about the religious stuff in the past, too. And maybe that's why I have such a respect for when they do talk about the religious aspects, because it isn't just, hey, religion is good, or religion is bad. It's showing both sides, and it's saying, you can draw your own conclusion, but we're going to look at this intelligently, the pros and cons of faith and religion.
Well...
And, and try to make... Because that's really where the epic size of so many of these stories that do involve religion and faith come from. It does come from whether or not you believe or don't believe, and not just believe good, not believe bad, or vice versa. It's the complications. It's the in-between. It's the gray area. And I think this show so covers, even with heroes and villains, it so covers that gray area so well.
There was a line in the previous episode that I've forgotten about, but I think it sums up how they treat religion in this, and it's... She says, you said this city needs you. I think this city just as much created you. And I love the use of Catholicism in this film and religion in this film, because there is this kind of like, is it faith creating the person, or does the person kind of create the faith?
Or both.
Like for all characters in this, they all have these like ideologies and this faith and this zealotry that what they're doing may be right, wrong or whatever. But it's like, is it chicken? It's chicken or the egg. It's like, which came first? Like, does Murdoch's faith come out of something deeper that was there to begin with, or is it a reaction to, growing up in this hellhole? Same thing with Fisk.
I think, and there have been a lot of, there's obviously phenomenal scholars out there, and there's phenomenal preachers and stuff like that, and there's films that do this kind of stuff, this challenging stuff. I mean, I'll be frank, I have thought much more seriously about, like, faith and what it means and all that stuff in this show than I really have for years.
I know, right?
And I think it's because when you go in, when you do hear a preacher or no matter how good they are, there are some phenomenal ones out there. I mean, just like, hats off to you. I mean, phenomenal speakers and holy people. But I think there is something about going into the story where with them, it's like, well, I'm going to try and convince you of this, and I'm going to try and be as true to myself and realistic to myself. That's what the great speakers do. But at the same time, with this, it doesn't feel like they're trying to convince anybody of anything. They're just
they're presenting you a bunch of... Yeah. They're presenting
not
just
pro
a bunch
or con.
of points of views.
Yeah, not pro or con, pro and con.
It's very ambiguous and gray, and that's why it works.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not... I don't find it I don't find it overtly pro-religious. I don't find it really overtly anti-religious either. It's just like, here's the different interpretations of what you got. Like, here's our dinner plate of, like, various beliefs on religion and how it applies to good and evil, and you figure it out. Like, enjoy the meal.
It has the respect to the audience to let you draw your own conclusion. And it's hard to know what else to say. It's just, it's so well done. It's hard to believe we're down to the final episode now, and I'm definitely excited. Why the fuck are we still talking? Let's watch it.
But no more Madame Gao. Oh, there. She better be this Mother Crane thing. I'm sure she'll be back. I don't know about Leland, though.